My name is Tanya Cosmini. I'm the broker owner of Realty One Group Elevate, and I'm so excited for our next episode at the Elevate With Us podcast. We have an amazing guest today. He has a renovation company that partners directly with realtors to get you the most money for your listings, which helps both you and the seller. Now, listen, if you've been in North Florida for a little bit and sold real estate, you might have run into my guest as a site agent with David Weekley. So I'm very excited to welcome Jamie Smith to the podcast today.
Tanya, thanks so much for having me. This is awesome. I knew you way back when. Now you're a broker. You got this big show here.
Well, big, I don't know about that, but thanks for the honor. So listen, tell us about your company, because I love that you saw a need and then made it happen. So tell me about that evolution.
Yeah, definitely saw a need. I used to be a realtor like you. I was in the new construction side for a long time. And so, especially when I was a realtor, I knew that there was definitely a need for this, because you would go into a listing presentation, you'd have a customer who would say, my neighbor down the block sold for this. And you'd look at their house and you'd see it. It reminded you of something. You're like, what does this remind me of? And you'd say like, oh yeah, this reminds me of the kitchen from Family Ties or Golden Girls or something like that.
Perfect, because everybody wants a circa 70s orange,
even
brown,
though the
green.
Seller thinks that this is the perfect house, they love it. You know, they were so proud of the job when they got the home redone in 1996, but times have changed. So you have to try to convince them, in order to get their house sold, they have to sell to a lower price than
right, because the neighbor
they're
they're comparing to did the renovation. Their house looks like it was white and gray, came out of a model home. And they're like, I have the same floor plan, or I have one more bedroom, so I'm going to get more money.
Right. So you got to think, as a prospective buyer, they're looking through these photographs. They're going to be comparing your home to what else is on the market. The way the market is right now, people aren't buying, sight unseen and just saying, yeah, we'll just buy anything.
Ship sailed.
The competition is really tough out there. So you want to get your home Instagram ready. So what we do is we partner with listing agents.
Okay.
For when you go into a home and you realize that, we were talking earlier, that this home's a little cringeworthy. And that
probably one of my new favorite expressions. I wrote it down. It's so good.
Got that from my 10-year-old.
Oh.
So as a listing agent, you're left, okay, I know I could sell this house if we list at a lower price, but that's going to cost you commission. That's going to cost the seller their biggest investment in their life.
Correct.
Do they want to sell for $150,000 less just to get the home sold?
Probably not. I mean, you're probably not going to get the listing.
Right. So what I could be is some part of a toolkit for the listing agent to say, look, I know a company that could come in here and shine this place up. We could paint your cabinets. We could paint your walls. We could redo your flooring. We could do a backsplash, which doesn't cost that much, countertops, get this home Instagram ready so you could spend maybe $30,000 on us, sell the home for $100,000 more. You make more money as a listing agent, and the seller makes a lot more money on their biggest investment of their life.
Well, and not only that, what it sounds like to me is you've taken out a lot of the stress of a renovation, because let's be honest, if you're a seller, and a lot of us out there have been, it's stressful to sell your home. And it doesn't matter if you're working with somebody that's very professional and does all the things, it's still a really stressful process. So if you add to that and say, hey, by the way, your circa 1996 kitchen is going to actually cost you money and you have to do a renovation, you've now added stress to stress. But then that's where you step in, because you're able to kind of do all of the stressful part. You have people, correct? So how does that process work? So
it's not only, you think about stress, it's not only stress for the home seller, and it's costing them money if they have to list it at a lower price.
Sure.
It's stress for the listing agent too.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of listing agents, they know a painter, they might know a cabinet guy, but do you really want to design and organize this whole project while you're doing a million other things?
Or organize the cabinet painter with the wall painter with the flooring guy. So you're trying to put together like 32 different people and their schedules and the seller schedule. So you're like a one-stop shop renovation to make homes look beautiful for the purpose of selling.
Renovation and design.
Design,
that
right.
comes with the price as well.
That's amazing.
And financing too.
And the financing
If
piece.
you want to finance through us, you won't have to pay a dime for 6 months till after the project's done. Or another program I'm working with right now, you wouldn't have to pay a dime for a year. And the financing arm, we're talking 0%. So it's free money within 6 months after the project. If it's priced right and updated, you get an agent like you'll be able to sell it. So
awesome.
So by that point, they're just paying with the equity they just made in the home sale.
Pretty amazing to have to not to pay anything up front, but then to get a return on your investment. So
the way it works is you call me. I'm the local owner of this company.
Okay.
We'll come in with a Matterport. Those of you who don't know, watching at home, a Matterport is a 3D tour of the home.
Right.
So I'll go in with the Matterport. My design team will come back with a design board. In most cases, if
like you see on HGTV, right? Like
right.
Seriously, like a design board. It's like a board with everything on there with the choices and the colors and the materials, so they can like feel it if they want to.
And if you're selling the home, in most cases, it doesn't even matter what the seller themselves want. It's what the design team comes up with for the listing agent. Because the listing agent and the design team, they know what sells, what's selling in this market.
Sure.
So we're going to turn your kitchen into something that the buyers in this market want.
Awesome. That's
we're
so amazing.
We're doing it for the future buyer.
Right. It's not for
necessarily
the seller,
for the seller,
of course, because the seller's selling.
Now, on the other hand, if you have a customer who just purchased a home at a low cost that needs updates.
So they bought a 1996 Circa
they bought it,
orange, right? They
got a good discount on the home,
lower price
because the home wasn't updated. They're moving in from out of town. You close on the home. We can come in 3 or 4 weeks, get the home ready to move in.
That's awesome. So you basically have 2 packages. You've got for sellers and you've got for buyers.
Yep.
That's
so when you go on our website, you'll be able to click on renovate to stay or renovate to sell.
Okay.
So there's 2 different paths you can go down.
That's amazing. So let's talk about the dollars and cents a little bit, because that's what everybody wants to know. Like how much will this cost them, and potentially how much they could get back. So I think you said the average cost, and it usually includes like the kitchen, bathroom, some flooring and some paint, is roughly $30,000.
Right. The average project right now is $30,000. What we're doing projects like I mentioned before. We're painting the cabinets, countertops, backsplash, flooring in some cases, painting the home, the interior of the home. And in most cases, it is $30,000. How are you going to pay for that? Most people don't want to pay for that.
Right.
That's when you can come in and do the financing.
Okay.
0%. You don't have to pay anything for 6 months till after we're done.
Amazing.
You're definitely going to make that back. I mean, we're not going to take every project. In some cases, the realtor and I will say, maybe we wouldn't get the return on this.
That's valid, because that means you're working with experts in the market and they're saying, hey, it's going to cost $37,000 to do this, but your market won't support that. So this isn't a good option for you, that you're not trying to waste people's time and money, which is really important. And you have found that the products that you're taking on, people are profitable. They're spending 30 and they're getting 60, 70, 80, 100, maybe even more.
Right.
So that ROI is incredible.
If you look at our website too, we'll have some case studies on there that we've done. And a lot of times it's 300% over what the original list price was going to be. We come in, do the project, they spend maybe $30,000, $40,000 on us, and they sell it for over $100,000 more.
I mean, that's amazing. I mean, seriously, like such a small investment, not a huge risk, right? You're selling your house. You can have your equity pay for it when you close. The average days in the market right now are roughly 60 days, depending. I mean, that's an average of all of North Florida. So the 6-month timeline is very reasonable, that most homes should meet that metric. So that's rock star.
And if you do the financing arm with us, say you qualify for $50,000, 0% loan, no payments for 6 months.
Okay.
And the project only costs, like you said, $37,000. You could use the remainder of that money on staging the home. Again, because that's free money we're giving you.
Sure.
Stage
so
the home.
You get it no matter what, the money. So if you don't know what staging is, it's when it's kind of like a model home. If you've been to model homes, you know that they've got beautiful furniture that looks perfect. And so there are staging companies out there that can come in and bring furniture for your house. So pretty great. pretty great.
Get your home to look like a model home, right?
Well, and in my opinion, depending on where your house is, it's one of the biggest challenges in selling resale homes, right? Not new construction homes in, let's say, 𝗥𝗲𝗃 or Beacon Lake or Shearwater or any of the neighborhoods that are still being built, is you're competing with nearly perfect looking homes. So how do you make yours look like theirs, even if like 𝗥𝗲𝗃 has been around for a long, long time. So there's homes that are really outdated, right? They're 10, 12 years old. The colors that were popular then were brown and tan. And
exactly. Especially you look at some of these backsplashes, which really don't cost that much. You look at these backsplashes, even from 10 years ago, that's a huge difference from an updated backsplash that you'll see in, some of these before and afters now.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. So I want to know, like, what made you do this? Like, were you at a listing appointment? Had something that couldn't sell that you were like, I have to fix this problem? Like, there's a big need in the marketplace for renoed homes at a great price that doesn't feel risky for the seller and provides value. So how did you come up with it?
Well, as I said, as you know, I used to be a realtor as well.
Yeah.
So I was on those listing presentations where I saw the homes like that and tried to sell them like that. And I saw the difficulties like that. And then when I was on the new construction side, working with these staged properties, it's such a huge difference. So I said, what if we can get these older homes to look more like these newer model homes in new construction? How much would that help those sellers? Because most people aren't in brand new homes, or by the time they're selling them, they're not brand new homes. How do you compete with the new construction? How do you compete with the homes that look like, model homes? And a lot of buyers or listings that don't sell, you'll get the feedback from people that come in, or maybe they don't even tell you what the feedback is, why they don't want to buy, what the feeling they get about the home. But how many possible buyers are you missing out on because they're just paging through the pictures on Zillow?
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you can get the home to look like these after pictures that I have in that book there, right there, that's when you're going to get the buyers to come.
Absolutely. Like, I love that you feel that you're just a part of a toolkit for realtors, or a toolbox, I should say. And I say that a lot to the agents that, I have things in my toolbox that might not work for them, right? And we all need to continuously be updating our toolbox and adding to it. And the toolbox needs to include, resources like this. You sometimes just need a painter. That's all the house needs. Sometimes you just need a good cleaning. But sometimes you need everything.
Right.
And to have to piecemeal that together, I mean, to be honest, I don't think I would do it. I mean, I'd probably either decline the listing or, I don't know, call a GC somewhere and hope they can help me. I mean, I'm thinking back on what an amazing piece I wish I had earlier in my business for different listings I've had that were very dated, and that the feedback was, like, all they see are dollar signs, right? They walk in and they're like, I hate the tile. I don't want square tile. I want, long LVP or whatever they want. And they're like dollars. And then what do you get? Really low offers. And then how does the seller feel? Not good. They're super mad at you.
And when a seller is hiring you to be their agent, they want you to be the expert on everything. They want to bring you.
Yeah.
They want you to bring the tools that you can offer them. A title company.
Sure. And we have all those partnerships, right? With things that seem very standard in real estate, right? Like cleaners, and I've got a title company, and there's home inspection companies we like to recommend and whatnot. So this is amazing. So let's just say, let's play a game. Let's play the game of...
I love games.
Yeah. The game is, how does this work? So let's just pretend I get a call from a past customer. So I already know what their house looks like. So I already know it's outdated. So it's 123 Main Street, and John and Sally Smith call me and say, hey, Tanya, we'd like to list the house. We want you to come over so you can tell us what it's worth. So I go there, right? And I'm like, oh, blah, blah, blah. If it was more updated, we get more money, because they say, hey, well, 456 Main Street across the street is the same floor plan. And they got 1 million. So I want 1 million. And I'm walking through there and I'm like, oh gosh, you guys bought this house 5 years ago. you've done nothing, and it's all wrong. It's brown and tan, and it has the square tile. It does not have a backsplash, and it has granite counter. It's just dated everywhere. What would happen next? I tell them, hey, I might have an option for you to kind of renovate this and get top dollar. What do I do next?
Well, that's where you and I would work with the customer together.
Okay.
You would figure out what the delta is between what the house would sell for now,
okay,
before the updates, and you would come up with a number. Say the neighbor sold for $1 million, you think it would be $820.
Got it.
To sell like the Golden Girls, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So then we would come in and we would figure out what it would cost. We would decide what's offensive, what needs to be done to get this home to sell. We would come up with a number, what that would cost. Say we come up with $43,000. And then we would say, okay, if we spent the $43,000 in updating these kitchens and bathrooms and the flooring, and doing some painting, what could you sell it for then, Tanya? If you could say, okay, well, if we update the home, then we're closer to that $1 million. So then how much sense does it make to take a home that would be, $820, spend $40-something thousand on it?
Make it $860, but then we're going to make $1 million. Got it. Do you come with me? Do you come with me to meet the customer? I
certainly could. I mean, if this is a customer that, I'm not going to come on every listing presentation.
Right.
Well, for you, I probably would. But.
Thanks. Or the other agents in my office, maybe.
But yeah, no, I would give you, I could, give every agent out there all the materials that they would need to inform the customer about our company.
Okay.
The customer could come to our website, but usually we work directly with the listing agent because the listing agent is the expert. So yes, if the customer says, yes, I'm interested in that. Yes, I would love to come over and we could go over it together. You could help me identify what changes need to be made in order to get closer to that $1 million number. And then we would figure out, if you think you could sell the home for $950 and it would cost us, $60,000 to update the home, and you'd only, even with the updates, you'd only be able to sell it for $990. Maybe it wouldn't be worth it.
Right. Then it's not a good plan. So what I'm understanding is I would be the liaison between the seller and the renovation project, but we would all work together to kind of make it go forward. And what I love is that I think that most sellers have a really hard time removing themselves from the their love of their home and whatnot.
Correct.
And so the fact that you automatically include designers and use that verbiage of, this is for the new buyer is really powerful because it's reminding them that, hey, your favorite color might be purple, and you might think that having a purple backsplash would be the most amazing thing ever. But, that's we have to depersonalize your home as you sell it.
I can't tell you how many times I worked with sellers back in the day where everyone says, why isn't my home selling? Why isn't my home selling? This is all custom. This is all, we had this on, this is all custom for you.
Yeah.
This kitchen was designed for you 15 years ago. You got to think about this buyers out there. What do they want?
Right.
And buyers want updated homes. And the way the market is now, you need your home to be updated to get top dollar. We're not where we were a couple years ago.
I mean, absolutely. And it's gotten worse. I think, I've been selling real estate for a long time, and that it used to be that you had kind of like 3 levels of homes. You had some homes that need a lot of reno that were always sold a little bit below market value. Then you had, kind of within a couple of years, the ones that were kind of within the range of the aesthetics that people like. And then you had the top dollar. What's happened is that I have found that most buyers, they only want homes that require zero work. They don't want to do anything. They want to move in, like the turnkey expression. Mm-hmm. Every buyer at every price point wants turnkey homes. So this leverages that option that they can get, the sellers can get top dollar. They don't have to invest anything in it. And then the buyers get a home that's aesthetically pleasing because of HGTV and all the renovation shows. They also think that they all are perfect all the time.
And why would you want to be in that situation with You're supposed to be representing the best interest of your seller.
Right.
And yeah, a lot of times, you want, the quick payday. So what's the answer is usually let's list it for a lot lower. But you got to remember, this is the biggest investment in that seller's life.
Generally speaking, a home is their biggest investment,
right?
Which is incredible.
Why shortchange them when you could just spend a little bit more and get maybe 300 return on investment, 300%?
Yeah, that's amazing. I love the platform. So the name of your company is Renovation Sells.
Renovation
I don't know,
Sells.
can I hold this up? Can you all see this? And can you see? Super pretty, Renovation Sells. He even brought this ridiculous, I don't know if you guys can see this.
We call this the wedding album.
It's like a wedding album of changes. So find me a really good one.
Now, when you page through here.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I have no idea if this can be seen at all. I'm going to hold it up. And if not, the best part is I bet you we can find marketing material somewhere.
But don't be intimidated. Don't be intimidated. I know this looks expensive. The book looks expensive.
The book is so pretty. So
the book's about $1,000.
I love paper. A lot of you don't know that about me. I'm going to say this, paper snob. If you ever meet me, grab a business card from me. They're showstoppers. I just love paper. So I want you to know the paper's beautiful. It's like linen finish and it's flat. So you can see everything really, but the presentation's rock star. If this has any bearing as to what he's presenting on renovations, like top notch for sure. So this is this is like a early 2000s kitchen bathroom. It's like brown and tan. It's got two-tone sinks. Nobody likes that. It's just got, it doesn't have anything anyone wants.
Because in this, 18 years ago,
yeah,
I can get that yet. They're proud of that.
So proud of it.
It never gets old to them.
Mm-mm.
But to a buyer, they're looking at, on a price point like this, they're looking at other kitchens that look like this.
Yeah, no,
and
absolutely.
They'll be scrolling through yours, and you're missing out on a sale or a possible buyer that you never even knew was out there.
No, absolutely, because they say that roughly a buyer makes about between, we'll just say 80% of their decision, it's probably a little bit higher, before they walk in the house. Right. So that means if you can't get them in the house,
right? If
your pictures aren't, if the condition of the house doesn't match the price, buyers are savvy. Like it's not hard for buyers to find pictures of properties online anymore. There's about 97 different websites out there. So if your pictures aren't stopping them, and if they're not like, wow, for $500,000, I'm getting this, then they're not going to come by.
Photos are huge, and that's why you have photographers in your toolkit as well.
I do have
right?
some great photographers in my toolkit, yeah.
But photographers aren't going to make that, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air kitchen look like this.
Yeah, this one,
which I'm sure the Fresh Prince, that was an expensive kitchen. But again, that's
right.
That's 90s.
Yeah, nobody wants it anymore. So this is so cool.
So you combine your toolkit of your photographer and updates that look like this. Like you said, 80% of that decision is made. They just need to come in and confirm what they saw online.
You're exactly right. It has to match it. So what challenges do you run into in this process? Like, do the sellers want to input too much of their taste into it? And how does that work?
Well, we certainly will work with sellers. Like I said, we'll come in, we'll come out with a design board with the design team. And in most cases, if it's renovating to sell, we'll mostly be working with the listing agent to figure out, because listing agents know as well what will help sell that home. Again, that's your expertise as a listing agent. If you are renovating to stay on a home that you just purchased, you will have a lot more input with the designer and the design team, because again, we're doing this for you. The projects usually don't take that long. In most cases, we could be out of there in a month. A lot of people say, oh, how do you do that? How do you do that? Because
I was just going to ask that. I was like, a month. Isn't there a material shortage out there?
Well, we have everything that we're going to be ordering are things that we have in stock. It's going to be the popular thing. We're not waiting on some precious stone from Italy that somebody wants, for their
they've been
kitchen.
Like hand carving for 30 years. You're not.
No. We're going to be ordering things that we have in stock, because again, the design team, they know what the buyers out there want. It's all the popular things that look like this. so we can come in and do it quickly. So a lot of times listing agents like, I don't want to deal with this home rent. Let's just get this property sold. Because again, you want the quick payday, but do you really want the home sitting on the market for 6 months?
No, that's
dealing
probably
with an
worse.
upset seller,
Yeah.
and then having the listing expire. Give
Sure.
us a little bit of time, make
Right.
more money for yourself, and make more money for the seller.
Stay tuned for part 2 of this Elevate with Us podcast.